Now, before we get started, I would really love if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get the latest content from the YouTube channel, The Last Rewind. And don't be shy about leaving your comments at the bottom of the page because you are the sole reason why this channel will be successful. Thank you.
Like every other video, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to be starting off a series here. And in this series, I was inspired by some recent events. Two most recently was the Tyson Jake Paul fight that we all tuned into, and also there was a podcast, All the Smoke, with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, and they had Skip Bayless on there, and that got me thinking. Tied into some of the things I often hear from most women in my life. And most women always say to give me my flowers while I'm still here to smell them. I know my mother has said this before, and my wife has said this before. And there's some real meaning behind that, because oftentimes I feel us as fans, we get on the internet and we're heartbroken when our favorite celebrities pass, as you should be. If you're a fan of someone, I get it, you should be. But we never say anything while they're alive. And there's a lot of celebrities who are still amongst us walking around here, who've done tremendous things in their respective careers that should get their flowers while they're still here to smell them. Now, that is not meant literally. It's just speaking great things about them in the form of what I'm about to do here with this series. And with that, what I want to do with this series is give celebrities whom are still with us their flowers, and speak positive on what they've done in their respective careers, what they've done on their respective careers in their respective fields. That can be music, that can be sports, that can be television, that can be anything that you feel as if it doesn't get the respect that it should. I'm not only gonna stop it at people. It's gonna be like television shows or movies that just doesn't get the recognition it should get. So I'm gonna be giving its respective flowers. And to start off this series, I'm going to start off with this series with a controversial man whom has been in the limelight, especially around the football season. And I spoke on it earlier, and I was inspired by this, and that's Skip Bayless. I'm going to start with Skip Bayless. I know some people may think Skip Bayless does not deserve his flowers, but especially based on how things ended at Undisputed with Shannon Sharp. But Skip Bayless has been in the game a while, and Skip Bayless has done tremendous things in television. And in my humble opinion, I think the art of sports debate originates and derives from one Skip Bayless. I do think that. I think now that we see all these sports debating television shows, there's several. There was Undisputed that Skip Bayless recently left. There's still First Take. There's the Colin Hurd Show. There's the Faculty. The Facility or the Faculty. One of them. It has old boy used to be the running back for the for Philly. Can't remember his name right now. And Joey was on there. But there are so many variations of sports debate TV on television right now. And I do feel as if it all goes back to Skip Bayless. I do feel as if it all goes back to Skip Bayless as far as originating sports debate. Sports debate TV is a big deal now. It is. I love it when it's done correctly and when it's done straight to the point and detailed, I love it. I get it. The debaters probably have their respective teams that they're rooting for, but I like it when it's done right. And again, I think Skip Bayless is really good at it, and he deserves his flowers for what he has contributed to that field. Let's get into some of Skip Bayless's, I guess you can say, accomplishments and accolades. So Skip Bayless, he took over on First Take in, he was on there until June of 2016. That's when he was on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. However, and I believe it was, I got my notes here, First Take used to be called Cold Pizza, and there was a segment on Cold Pizza called First and 10, and that's when Skip Bayless really started doing the debating, if you will. He was very good at it then. He's still good at it now. What I like about Skip Bayless and his debating is that it's passion behind it. He's very passionate about what he's debating for and whom he's debating for. We all know he's a Cowboy fan, and we all know he's a Brady guy, but he's very passionate when he goes into his debates. He's articulate too. And I believe in time he started to play towards the camera because, if you're on a television show, you got to get ratings, and that's justifiable. That keeps the lights on. But it also plays as to who he's debating with. I felt like him and Stephen A. had a good one-on-one and a good back and forth and a good rapport. They did. Stephen A. was the Cowboy hater. He was the Cowboy fan, and that made for good television. And then Skip Bayless, he took off to go to do Undisputed. There is a life before sports debate with Skip Bayless that some may know about, some may not. I mean, I'm gonna go through some of that. He is a graduate in English and history from Vanderbilt University. He was a Texas sports writer by the National Sportscaster and Sports Writer Association. He won an award for that in 79, 84, and 86. In the 90s, he wrote a plethora of Dallas Cowboy books, which is, I guess, how he got so engulfed in the culture. There was even a rumor that I believe he started back in the 90s that Troy Aikman was gay. Don't know how much relevance that had, but I say all that because he knows how to stay relevant. Skip Bayless, he's even staying relevant now, and that's without an official show. He's staying relevant now. He has a podcast now, and he's on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and he's staying very much relevant on the show. I mean, he's staying very, very much relevant despite not having a show, rather. In 1998, he led the sports columnist for the Chicago Tribune. And then again, he landed First Take back in, I believe it was 2004, but First Take did not become First Take until 2007. Again, it was Cold Pizza at the time, And then we come across, and I believe it's September of 2016, he starts with Shannon Sharpe. Now, his departure, Shannon Sharpe's departure from Undisputed leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. I think people were riding with Skip until then. The infamous episode, I believe they were talking about Brady and Skip was going to bat for Brady, talking about how Brady is a Hall of Famer. I believe Shannon Sharpe said, I'm in the Hall of Fame too, which he is. And it was basically a back and forth. It got personal. It did get personal. That particular segment did get personal. And Shannon felt Skip threw some personal shots at him as opposed to his career.
Don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal.
Put your glasses back on.
Can I finish? You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you just
Go ahead.
you disrespect him. It's just so. You know what? It's beneath your
You would
dignity.
disrespect me.
And after that episode, I remember watching. I said their relationship is all but done. They had a couple episodes after that, I guess, to fulfill contractually, but you knew they were done at that point. I believe one of the most infamous lines that most people will remember from Skip Bayless is when he told Shannon to put his glasses back on. He actually said, "Put your effing glasses back on." I think he stopped himself, but I say that as well to say Skip Bayless is a trailblazer in sports debate because he knows how to perk up ears. He knows what to say. He knows what not to say. He knows it's going to ruffle a couple feathers. And, you know, if you're going to be good it's something you do, you give it your all. And I went through a couple of his accomplishments as it relates to his know-how and his know-how in sports. But I mean, Skip Bayless is very good at his job. He's very good at what he does. He knows sports. He's not one-dimensional either. He's not like some of these sports debaters now. If you watch the show, they'll leave because there are certain sports that they can't talk as articulately about. You know, if there's a basketball debate, they'll leave for that segment, or there's a football debate, they'll leave for that segment because they're not rounded enough, and they're not, I guess, skilled enough to talk about that particular sport. Skip Bayless talks basketball, football, boxing, golf, baseball. He talks all sports. He can debate all sports. Is he right all the time? No, but that's what makes for good debate. In all honesty, I don't think he cares about being right. I just think he cares about being seen and heard and ruffling a couple feathers. If you're debating with someone, some people may think you're right, some people may think you're wrong. It's a debate. It's left open for the audience to let whom know who's right is wrong, but who's right or wrong. But I frankly think Skip Bayless has done his job as it relates to sports debate.
Because there is no way Scottie Pippen was a top 50 player.
What?
Michael Jordan made him. Yes. Don't get me started.
You're going too far, Skip. You're going too far.
I'm not.
Pippen is an all-time 50
Hey, let me just ask you a question. What happened after the Bulls broke up and Scottie Pippen is still in his prime?
He wasn't in his prime.
Yes, he was. Now, Aaron Rodgers should at least donate. What is it, $8.5 million that he made last year? Donate it to charity.
Are you on
drugs? Right out there on Front Street on Twitter. He said, I'll put my salary on it.
I swear I wish so what about throw this in. Tim Tebow more box office than LeBron?
I think so. It's the National Football League. Go look at the numbers.
He's good at what he does. Like I said, I believe he got a couple haters and some flack based on, how things abruptly ended with Shannon Sharpe. But the hallmark of, in my opinion, the hallmark of someone being good at their job is to make others good at it. And let's put all cards on the table here. In the sports debate world, there is no Shannon Sharpe without Skip Bayless. In the sports debate world, there is no Stephen A without Skip Bayless. Those two men, as much as I don't know if they want to admit it or not, or if they have admitted it. Actually, Stephen A. has. I have heard Stephen A. admit that he will not be where he is in his career if it wasn't for Skip Bayless. And Shannon Sharpe has too. Shannon Sharpe said, I've heard on the interview, he said despite how his tenure with Skip Bayless ended, they had good years prior to that, and he's very appreciative for what Skip Bayless did, because Skip Bayless brought them into his world of sports debate, and Skip Bayless made them two better. He made Stephen A. Smith better. He made Shannon Sharpe better. And now if you look at them both, now they're both on First Take, thriving. If you want to call what Stephen A. doing is thriving. I can't hate on him to the point where he is successful. If you go back in my last video, I just don't like how he came about his success, but he is a successful man. But I believe a whole big play of his success is thanks to Skip Bayless, at least in the beginning of his career. Skip Bayless really molded him, and they bounced back off of the debate, and so did Shannon Sharpe. And that's what makes someone good, in my opinion. You know, so like I said, I want to give Skip Bayless his flowers because he's done well. Sorry, I got distracted. I want to give Skip Bayless his flowers because he's done well in his career. I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done. I think he's going to do the podcast thing for a minute, but I don't think he's done as far as television. I think something happens in as far as his television career going forward. Maybe a network picks him up. Maybe he does something that's not even sports related, but his name is too household at this point for someone to just sit on it and not capitalize off of it. You know what I mean? His name perks up ears. His name makes people want to tune in. So for that reason, I believe Skip Bayless will do something later in his career on television. But we just got to wait and see. But in the meantime, you know, I want to give him his flowers. He gets a lot of, like I said, I've said it previous times in this video, he gets a lot of flack because of his brashness, arrogance, if you will. But when it comes to sports debate television, I would like to believe we all can agree that it's not where it is today without one Skip Bayless. Maybe he didn't start it. I know he didn't start it, actually, because they were doing that before he was on Cold Pizza. I don't think he started it, but I do believe he was the face that made it popular. I do believe that. I believe he was the face that made sports debate popular, and now it's the sports debate culture is thriving, whether it's television or online or podcasts. It's thriving, and I believe Skip Bayless plays a big part in that. So, at that point, I'm going to leave it there. I got a few ideas for a few other people whom I want to give flowers to, or even, like I said, television shows or movies or whatnot. So if you have any idea and you feel as if someone deserves their flowers, let me know. Put it in the comments, and we'll go from there. But like always, comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. I'm out. Peace.